Hide and seek has turned deadly, and it ain't no kids game anymore. The name of the game is Pound or Be Pounded. My innuendo alarm is blaring in my head right now, but this isn't anything rude. In fact, the premise of Bionic Battler is kind of dark. The robots of Earth have rebelled, Asimov's laws pounded into dust, and you've been imprisoned in their quote-unquote labyrinths of war. Metallic mazes of mayhem designed for robots and guys in mech suits to have a massive tear-up. It's basically some futuristic gladiator arena where you're the sport. You choose one of two mech suits. It doesn't really matter which, as they play identically. You're then asked to pick option on or off. Option for what? I don't know. It doesn't seem to change anything. Anyway, you take control of your suit from a 3D first-person perspective. The screen is separated into several different visuals and gauges. Top left is a radar. This tells you how close you are to another robot. If it starts filling up, then there's probably one within a couple of tiles. Top right is your energy, which governs your attacks. It decreases, but slowly, and you can kind of take it to be a time limit in a way. If it depletes, then you're dead. It's replenishable only by finding an E-tank. There's maybe one of these per level that I've ever found. The majority of the top half is your first-person view. Keep an eye on this regularly, although you don't really use it to navigate. The bottom half of the screen is largely taken up with the overhead map. It's this that is most useful. It helps you work out safe places, and enemies show up on it too. Either side of the map are gauges representing your and your enemy's health and missile charge. Hold B to charge a missile. When it's fully powered up, you can fire it 3 spaces, but it takes a long time to charge. Don't try to fire missiles if you're face to face with an enemy, as they'll beat you to death before you manage to fire. Instead, punch with A. Each maze has a certain number of enemies to destroy, and the difficulty curve is basically a numbers game. The higher you progress, the more targets you have to take down. After the first battle's over, you get out of your mech suit and watch as your little chap, who looks a little like the character from Blaster Master, walks into some old guy's office, shakes hands with him, and then seems to merge with him. Freaky stuff. You get paid $1, just the one, and flick the peace sign until you're ready to progress to the next stage. The prize goes up depending on which stage of the 5 you tackle, but so does the number of enemy robots. 3 on the first, up to 7 on the 5th. Being reasonably conservative is the order of the day in Bionic Battler. A good strategy is to find a nice corner somewhere to camp out in, charge the missile to the max with B, and then fire as soon as an enemy is within 3 spaces ahead of you. They'll either back off, in which case you just charge up again and wait for them to return, or they'll be stunned, which is when you move in closer and pummel them till they explode. Your health doesn't replenish unless you find one of the rare batteries, so be resourceful and use the safer places to your advantage. If you go tearing around the maze looking for enemies, they'll no doubt destroy you eventually. Remember, there's several of them, but only one of you. You only have 1 life to beat all 5 stages too. The sound effects are great for a game that was released this early in the Game Boy's youth, as is the music, although possibly more of a darker theme would have suited the game a little better. The tunes are kind of jazzy and feel like they're from a cartoonish platform or puzzle game, but then, for a game where robots are blowing each other apart, it's pretty cutesy itself. An interesting title that's really unique and comes as a breath of fresh air at this point. The maze navigation works very well, visually it looks brilliant, and the space is used very economically. There's little depth or finesse in what you're doing, but for a half-an-hour session, Bionic Battler is a ton of fun.